Hello there. Today I'm going to show you how to go through the steps to make this beautiful abstract twisted ellipse design on Adobe Illustrator. It's really very simple to do and you can use it in a lot of projects. I make apparel design, so I use this in a lot of the dart shirts and different ladies shirts that I do for different clients. So I'm going to delete this now and we're going to start from scratch, and I'm going to show you exactly how it's done. Okay, it's all gone. We're going to start from scratch. First thing I'm going to do is set my my stroke color to white. So to do that, I just selected the stroke color, which is the bottom box. Make sure it's the closest one to you. And we want that to be white. So we click on the default fill and stroke, which is white and black. Sets it up so that the fill is white and the stroke is black. We don't want that. We want white stroke. So we're just going to hit this little switch around button here with the two arrows. And make sure stroke white and your fill black. We don't want any fill, so we're going to click on that. You see how that becomes closer to you? So that means that fill is selected. To get rid of the fill, we're just going to hit this little none button here. You can see right down here under the colors that you have your color button, your gradient, and your none. We're going to hit none, and that's going to take out the fill. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to get a ellipse. So this is your ellipse tool. Just going to start here by dragging out an ellipse. So you get your direct selection tool here, click off of that shape, and you can see that you have a white ellipse. And over here in your layers palette, you can see also that you have a white ellipse. So we're just going to highlight that, select it. Now we want another one. So instead of drawing another one, we're just going to hit Control C, Control V. Now you have two. So we'll just drag this one over here. Make sure it's handy about centered. Okay, so now you can see you have two. Both are white. I don't know what this little thing here is. Get rid of that. I don't know how to get rid of that. Oops, I got rid of all of it. If ever you're in Illustrator and you do something that totally screws you up, you just hit your Control Z and it'll bring everything back the way it was. I'm not going to concern myself with that little dot. Oh, I think I know what it is. It's the center point of my rectangle. Exactly what it is. Okay. These are pretty small, so I'm going to make them a little bigger. So to make them bigger, I'm just going to highlight the both of them. Select the both of them. I say highlight, but I mean select. Okay, both are selected. Now, to make them bigger, you click your selection tool, which is the unfilled arrow. The filled arrow is your direct selection tool, and your unfilled arrow is your selection tool. You can also access that by hitting V on your keyboard. Okay, so you're just going to drag that out a little bit bigger. I got a black rectangle in the back here so you can see the detail on the design that we're doing. I make apparel, ladies' dart shirts and stuff like that, and most of the time when I use designs such as this, I'll use it on a black background most of the time, not all the time. Okay, so now we have both of these selected. We're going to blend them together. So to do that, you go to your object, you make sure both are selected, which they are. Both have a white stroke, no fill. You go to blend, and you hit blend options. Specified steps is 50. So what that means is that it's going to be 50 increments between both lines. You can change it. You can make it 2, you can make it 5, you can make it 100, you can make it 500, depending on how fast your computer is. I wouldn't recommend 500 because it'll probably crash your computer. Okay, so you see nothing happened. It's just setting the settings for when we do actually blend it. So now we're going to blend it. Go back in here under blend and hit make. Or you can hit Alt Control B. Okay, so it's blended it together. There's now 50 little increments between these two lines. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see what I mean. Okay, so what it did is it put 50 more little lines in between these two lines of these two ellipses. And if you expand that on your layers palette, you can pull that out actually. I like it pulled out separate. Okay. I'm going to make it a little bit wider so we can see the labeling on that. So here's our blend. That's selected. This is your top ellipse. Sorry, your bottom ellipse. And here's your top ellipse. So what it did, it took the two ellipses and it blended them together. However many steps you specified, that's how many steps are in the blend. And you'll see what that means as we go along. Okay, we're going to modify the shape of these ellipses now, so to give us a little bit of a fancy effect. So we're going to start with the bottom ellipse. So to modify the shape, you just grab the curvature tool. You can see that on the ellipse there's 4 points. There's top, bottom, left, and right. We can modify any of these just by modifying these existing ellipse points. It's just going to create a somewhat different shape of ellipse. So what we need to do is we need to add more points to this. So we're going to add one right here. Just by having your curvature tool selected, you click anywhere on that ellipse and you add another point. So that means you can drag and modify the shape. So I'm going to add a couple here just so you can see. Okay, so it modifies the shape of the bottom ellipse. Add a couple more. So we're going to just play around with this now till we get a little bit of a nice shape here. And then we'll do the other one as well. And then we can see what happens when you cross them over, kind of an effect that makes. See, it looks like a ribbon being twisted around. Okay, so I'm going to grab the other one now and we're going to change the shape on that as well. So this one still has only the 4, so if I modify these, it'll just change the shape of the ellipse. Think of it as a rubber band, a wide rubber band. One ellipse is one edge of the band and the other ellipse is the other edge of the band. It's the way I always think of it. So if you add more points to this, it means just pinching the rubber band and dragging it from a different place, more or less. Okay, see what I mean? And by dragging them farther apart, the steps in between are further apart. So you're going to see some space in between. If you drag them close together, there's 50 steps. So the steps are going to be very, very tiny. Okay? So we're just going to twist this a little bit in places. And then I'm going to show you what happens when you modify the colors. It almost looks like a organza ribbon or something to that effect. Very elegant looking on clothing. I did a dart shirt for a lady a couple days ago and sent it off and had it manufactured. And when it came, she was absolutely amazed with how beautiful it was. And this is the technique that I use. I use it in a red color with several different layers of this on top of one another. And it looked like fine mesh fabric. You got to play around with this a little bit to get it where you want it. Okay, I think we're good here. I'm just going to zoom in again on this to show you. Okay, so you can see we got some little gaps there. I don't know why that happens. Sometimes when you click on it, it goes away. Other times it doesn't. You got to move those lines closer together. It's supposed to be even between the steps, but sometimes it doesn't appear to be. It may still well be, but it just doesn't appear that way. See what I mean? Looks like a little split. Looks like some of that packing tape with the lines in it that gets split. Oh, still doing it. We'll get rid of that problem before we move on. Let's try moving them a little bit closer together. No, still not. No. Oh, screw it. We'll just We'll just go with it. Oops. Sometimes you do something and you don't like it, you just hit Control-Z or just drag it back to where it was. Okay, we'll go with this. This looks pretty good. So what we're going to do next is we're going to change the color on these ellipse lines. And again, we're not going to change fill color. We're just going to change the color of the line itself and show you what happens in these steps between them. So we're going to select the stroke color on the top ellipse, and we're going to get our swatches palette. I got some pre-existing colors in the swatches, so I'll just use those. So we're going to change one to a pink. So you see that this edge is pink, this edge is still white, and in between it's a gradual mix between the pink and the white. I'm going to choose the bottom one now, and I'm going to change that to yellow. Okay, so now the top line is pink, the bottom line is yellow, and it's again a gradual increment from one color to the other. Let's see, let's try a different color. We'll use a purple. Okay, so now we got a purple and a pink. Let's grab the other line. This one. Let's change it to orange. We got a purple and an orange then. Should be interesting. Okay. So you can see the different blend modes. I'm going to turn off the black background so you can see what it looks like on a white background. To do that, I'll just hit the little eyeball here next to the black rectangle that I have in between. Okay, so you can see it's orange and purple. I have it selected now, so that line is showing up as blue, but I'll just click on the direct selection tool and click on the white background. And you can see that all you have left is your little gradient. Sorry, not gradient. It's a blend. Sorry. And you can still play around with these. You just hit your curvature tool, and you could still move those lines around. I could play around with this all day. It's almost hypnotizing. So if you got several layers of this stuff in several different colors, you can stack them on top of one another. And it looks like a fabric that's been rolled up and laid on top of each other. There's all kinds of different interpretations of it, but that's what it looks like to me. Oopsie. And the closer they are together, the two lines, the more you can notice the color because there's less space in between the lines. Okay. Let's see what we got here. There. Now that looks pretty good to me. So I could take that, I could make that all white and put it on a green background. Let's do that. Go back into your layers, grab one, or you can grab both actually at the same time. Make sure you grab the ones that are in blend. I got a couple more little paths there that I must put there by accident. I'm going to get rid of those. So we're going to change that. You see where it's question mark all around this stroke color box? That means that you got two objects of two different colors selected. So to get rid of that, we just double click on it. We'll click on white and hit OK. And now you can't see it. You can see the lines where it's selected, but because it's white, you can't see it. So I'll turn the black background on again now. There we go. Now isn't that beautiful? So just to show you what it'll look like with a couple different ones on top of one another, I'm just going to highlight this blend and I'm going to make a copy of it. Okay, so we got two now. So we only want the one. So we're just going to drag that one around. We got a blend here and a blend here. So what we could do now is we'll go into the ellipse paths of the top blend, and we're going to change it around, covering some of this black space. To do that, you got to have your curvature tool selected and drag your points around. And you can see how it looks like overlapping fabric, and you can give them a little twist, and you can pull them down like that. Oops, that's one of those silly paths that I made by accident. I'm just going to delete that. I got two more here. I'm going to get rid of those. It's not good. Okay, so we got blend 1 and blend 2. Let's turn the visibility of blend 2 off. So we only get the one. That way we don't have to worry about where the points are on the other one. It'll be totally random. Okay, so we're just going to drag some of these points around. There. Oh, that's looking cool. Oh, wow, look at that. Okay, so now when we turn our other blend on, see how random that looks? Let's change some colors around now. We'll get one line in this, go to our swatches panel, we'll set that one as a pink. We'll set the bottom line in blend 2 to red. And now we're going to go to blend 1. Get one line in there, and we're going to change it to a purple. And get the second line in that blend, and we'll change it to a, let's see, green. No, don't like it. With a lime green. It's almost like a yellow. Let's get a yellow or an orange. Or blue. Let's get a blue. Wow. That is so pretty. Again, I've done these on shirts that I've done. So pretty. You can do them on dart shirts. You can do them on just, even if you're an Etsy seller and you like to do abstract stuff to put up on Etsy for people to download and print. This is some great stuff that you learn how to do. Everyone is different every single time. You can never duplicate it the same way that you did it before. It's impossible. If you like this video, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. I'm really new at this, and I'm not really very smooth talker yet, but I plan on keeping doing these videos, and as I learn something new, I'd like to explain it in my own words to somebody that might find my way of teaching it a little easier to learn than some of the other videos that are out there. So again, if you like this video, like it and hit the subscribe button, and you'll get notified when I post a new video. Bye.